Hi, I'm still not Jim Cantor. I'm Mark Mancini with VRBO Outstanding, and we're not going to fake it like those other channels do with the weather. Thanks for coming back for part 2 of hurricane preparedness. And as you can see, the water is splashing over the seawall, the concrete seawall there. And the water also coming across the first layer of the kayak rack is underwater. And we have water coming up close to the tiki. Now this is the highest I've seen the water come, but this is going to be typical for Florida and for hurricanes. So if you're anywhere on the coast, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, Georgia, any Florida coast, you're going to expect to get stuff like this. And we'll talk about hurricane zones, the differences between VE, AE, X, and so forth, and how to best protect yourself. But this doesn't look like it's going to be an Irma type hurricane, but it looks like it's going to drop a lot of water here. And we're going to talk about the differences hurricane damage could cause. With hurricanes, you've got wind and tornadoes that will send debris. Now, Ron White, the comedian Ron White, had a show scheduled in Myrtle Beach when Hurricane Matthew came in that my wife and I are supposed to go to. So aside from them canceling the show, the venue we were supposed to see him at got destroyed from the hurricane. Now, he says something during his show: it's not the wind that will hurt you, it's what the wind carries with it that will hurt you. So wind coming at 100 miles an hour doesn't hurt you, but wind carrying a VW bug at 100 miles an hour will definitely hurt you. Now, the other thing will be wind, and besides wind and tornadoes, is going to be the water. The slower the hurricane moves, the more water it drops and the flooding that occurs. Now, speaking of flooding, as this water comes up, this is sandy water. Okay, it will bring sand in places you don't want, like on your concrete. It'll bring it into your house. So sand is the other thing besides water that will damage your property, and then we have to help mitigate. And that's why we're going to talk about sandbags and also a DAP product called Peel and Stick. Now, DAP has a product in case you don't want to sandbag everything here, and I've got 3 different doors here, and this would take a lot of sandbagging. It's something called Peel and Stick, and basically it's a caulk that you put around your door jamb across the bottom and the sides. Okay, it makes a strong bead, okay, that waterproofs water from entering, and then when the hurricane's passed, you simply peel it right off. Makes it a lot easier than sandbags, a lot more cost effective. It goes on with a caulk gun. It's a great cost effective, I think it's several dollars a tube. Definitely worthwhile getting. Now, the other option is sandbags, and that's especially if you're closer to water level, which we're going to show you right now. Pause. Now, sandbags are important for blocking water from getting in through your doors. If you don't have a sandbag, and you can get them with sand already in it if you don't have access to sand, or you can get empty bags and fill them with sand. If you don't have either one, you can get a minimum of 3 ml liners, trash can liners, to use. Now, don't fill those things all the way up. Only go about this deep with them. They'll be too heavy and you'll break them. So as you can see there, I put about 5 bags. That'll seal the door pretty well. And as you can see, it's holding the water back and keeping everything dry. So you'll definitely want to do this before water starts coming in, because you don't want to do this afterwards with wet sand. It's a lot heavier. Now, we're going to go over and show you my enclosed trailer. And as I spoke earlier, an enclosed trailer is a must for a couple reasons. Not only will you use this for transporting items to and from your short-term rental from your home or between short-term rentals, but this also doubles as a shed, a movable shed. So we have this up on higher ground so it stays dry, but I prefer the the type with the rear door that goes all the way down so you can drive stuff up on it. I don't like the doors that swing out that have the step. So anyway, short-term trailer is a good, we talk about this in my course at VRBO Outstanding. It's a must-have. It's great for a portable shed. It's great for emergencies, and they hold their value. You buy this thing, and I think I paid $3,400 for it. I can turn around and sell this thing for at least that years later after all the use. So it's definitely a worthwhile investment to get an enclosed trailer. Now, one more thing too, since we're talking about trailers. Trucks. I hope each and every one of you who is a short-term rental owner has a pickup truck. I've owned a pickup truck for 35 years of my life. Inside your truck, you need to have a couple key things. We talked about this in my hacks at Home Depot. I always keep a tow strap in here, and I've used it several times during or after hurricanes. So always keep a tow strap in your truck. Another thing are those battery boosters, those battery cells that have the booster cables that will jumpstart a car. They also have USB ports on them, so in a pinch you can always charge a phone in an emergency. I've used this, I can't tell you how many times. Keep one on my boat, keep one in my truck at all times. Finally, the third thing I keep in my truck at all times is water, bottled water. I keep it under the back seat. It's always there in case I need it, in case my dog gets thirsty or I need it. But for an emergency, it's always good to have. A pickup truck is priceless, but the tools in it are just as important. Okay. So as you can see, we have a brand new generator here. And the reason why we have a brand new generator, it's not only to be prepared, it's because the extra spare generator we have in South Carolina couldn't make the trip down here because we ran out of room. So now we've got 2 generators in South Carolina, and we just had to purchase one here. Luckily, this is in a store literally across the street from our house, and he didn't overcharge us on it. It's a dual powered, which means it's gasoline and propane. So if you remember from my grills video on my VRBO Outstanding YouTube channel, always have extra propane tanks, right? Propane tanks are gonna come in handy to power this as well. So it's always important not only to have propane tanks for your grill, but for your generator. Now this also runs on gasoline. And as you can see here, we've got 4 or 6 gallon jugs. This is what I use for my jet ski and my ATV. We also filled the truck completely, filled up the ATV, filled up the jet skis, and if you have a boat, fill up your boat. Boats can be anywhere from 20 gallons to 300 gallons of fuel. Put fuel everywhere. You could always siphon it out, and you might need it to power your generator, because if power goes out for 3 days, you need a lot of gas. So we've got 24 gallons here. I've got a truck full. I've got 6 gallons in my jet ski. I've got 4 gallons in my ATV. So I should be okay right now. But let's talk about the generator again. I want to go back to this. So this is dual powered. It's gasoline and propane. They also have 3 power ones. It'll run on either natural gas, propane, or gasoline. They also have some that run on diesel as well. So you've got diesel, gasoline, propane, natural gas. Depends what's available in your area. Now, many coastal towns don't have natural gas. That's sad, because you can power a natural gas generator for days for not too much money. Natural gas is the best generator to have. So if you have an option for like a Generac brand, full house generator with natural gas, that is the best way to go. That's what hospitals use to stay power in their generators, because it's so much more cost effective. Gasoline is your option 2. Propane's your option 3. And finally, it's diesel. Now, if you have solar and you're a Tesla fan like we are, you can have a solar roof and have a Tesla Powerwall. Those Tesla Powerwalls can power your house for days. Yes, you heard me say it. Those Powerwalls can power your house for days. So if you're looking at power or solar power, go ahead and look at the Tesla Powerwall. It is a worthwhile investment as an alternative to a generator. It's going to give you all the power you need. And just remember, you can't charge your electric car, if you don't have any power. But you also can't put fuel in your ICE vehicle, your internal combustion engine vehicle, if there's no power, because it takes power to run the pumps to pump the gas. So if there's no power, you're going to hope the gas station has a generator, otherwise you can't get gas. That's why you always fill up ahead of time, and that's why solar and Tesla Powerwalls are becoming such a popular commodity, especially in coastal towns, anywhere from Florida all the way on up, because as we've seen, Hurricane Sandy even took out New York City and other parts of metropolis of New York, New Jersey, tri-state area that weren't really known to be flooding were flood zones. The subways flooded. So remember, if you're anywhere near the coast, it's not a matter of if a hurricane happens, it's a matter of when a hurricane happens. And when it's over, suck it up. Just remember, it's okay to cry for 5 to 10 minutes. Then after you're done crying, you get your ass back to work, okay? Because it's not gonna fix itself. For some people, going through a couple hurricanes, it'll start to wear on them, and that's okay. It's not for everyone. But if you didn't peel your Salt Life sticker from your truck and evacuated, and you're a salt person, a coastal person, you're just gonna hunker down and realize it sucked, and it's gonna happen again, and we're just gonna get through it and rebuild, because that's what we do. You're a short-term rental owner. I know some of the disasters you walked into after your guests left. This is not much different. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode on preparing for a hurricane. We've got some more videos for post-hurricane cleanup and what happens afterward. So remember, subscribe down below. Please put your comments, hit like, but also if you have any tips that I didn't cover in this video because this was a spur of the moment, gonna lose power type of video, please put those tips below. We'd love to hear those comments. And remember to be safe and never stay in a hurricane if you feel uncertain. Thanks again.